Hi, this is Louddaaa. I just spoke my truth on Afrobeats Intelligence.
Afrobeats Intelligence Podcast.
Afrobeats Intelligence. Democratizing African music.
All right, man. It's good to see you.
Same here, bro.
It's good to see you, Louddaaa.
Same here.
Interestingly, this is interesting. Louddaaa has a very interesting story. So I was at the gym, and then Louddaaa comes. This guy. No, the day before, my lady hits me up and says, "Hey, Louddaaa works out at the gym." And I'm like, I've never met him before. I don't know who Louddaaa is in person. I know the name, I know the work, I know the accomplishments, but I've never met the person before or seen the person's face. And then she shows me a picture. I'm like, I know this guy. He works out at the gym.
Yeah.
I go to the gym the next day, and there was Louddaaa. Louddaaa comes to me with my own picture. And he's like, hey, I saw you in a dream.
Yes.
What was I doing in that dream?
We were just talking, and when I woke up, I was like, I know this guy. I've seen you on Twitter once in a while. I've seen your post on Instagram, but I just couldn't tell why I saw you in my dream. Like, what was happening? But we were just talking. You were talking. You were doing different kind of thing. But I don't know. It was just.
It was amazing, and so yeah, this is your that dream coming true.
Same week,
same week, same week. And then thank you so much for doing this Afrobeats time capsule.
My pleasure.
With Oraimo and Afrobeats Intelligence. And so what we're doing is we're exploring sounds across the different eras of our music. And for you are one of the people who have defined our sound. The work you have done at the Mavens, the work you've done for Ayra Star, the work you've done for a number of artists, Chike, Simi, all of that, and even the sound producers yourself. It's inspiring, and thank you for it.
My pleasure.
Thank you. So I'm mostly interested in when you think of sound, the nature of sound itself. Why are you attracted to sound? Why is sound your tool of expression?
Okay. Let me start by saying that because of my experience in life, I've gone through a lot in my life and a lot of dark moments.
Yeah.
And sound was more like was that tool that I'd say that God gave to me to keep me distracted from everything that I was going through. You get, while nothing was happening, the only thing I could do was just make music.
Yeah.
It's natural for me. I didn't have to learn it from anybody.
For real?
Yes.
You just understood it?
Yes. I started as a drummer.
Yeah.
I started playing drums when I was 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think way before 9, but I started playing professionally in church when I was 9, 10.
9, 10?
Yes.
In church, you just gravitated towards it? Or somebody introduced you to it?
As a child, and when all my siblings would be in church and they would all be in children's church.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not usually in children's church. You will look for me around everybody, you would not see me. So I'll go to the back of the drummer and then I'll stay there till the service would end. And at the back of my mind, I'll be like, I can do this. Yeah, I can do this. I can play this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was how it started. And the first day I got the chance to sit on the drum, it just felt like I'd been playing drums all my life. Like it just came in. Even way before then, so I remember then in primary school, with my barrel and everything, I would just, play drums on my decks and everything. Yeah, that was pretty much how everything started.
So for me, it was books. I always loved books for some weird reason. Whether it's storytelling, whether it's someone is building a world up in novels or someone's deconstructing ideas in nonfiction. I always felt, even if it's poetry, I always felt drawn to like how people worked with words. And so I remember running up and down. If I see someone in school if I see someone with a book, I would go the right way, ask and be like, please, can I read after you? If he says yes, I'm like, okay, cool. I'll wait until they're done. Yeah. But if he says no, I'd simply shadow that person all day. And when they're not looking, I snatch that book and take off. And so I disappear with the book for 34 hours. But you won't see me. I'm a fast runner. So you won't catch me. You won't see me. Until 34 hours, I'll come back and apologize and hand you back your book after I've finished it. Yeah, that was how crazy it was for me. So it's always, it's weird. Do you think it's something in your genetics?
To be honest, no.
Your parents, how are they?
I mean, they're fine. I mean, none of them really do music. And I think the only thing close to music in my family is just my mom playing music every morning.
Okay.
And it's usually just, gospel songs and everything.
Huh.
You get?
Yeah. That's interesting. And so the first time we gave you access to the drums.
So it was Children's Day in my church.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously children were meant to do everything, and they were like, okay, so what can you guys do? What can you guys do? And I'm like, yeah, I want to play the drums. Yeah. And like, okay, let's see you. And then I was just doing it, and they were like, wow, you're not bad though. I mean, we thought you, nobody. I mean, this is just me. And started from there.
So you had innate rhythm.
Yes.
Within you.
Yes.
And from church. So how long did you play in church?
Yeah, I played drums for a very long time. I thought I was going to play drums professionally forever. Roughly like 7, 8 years.
7, 8 years.
Yeah.
And why did you make the leap into sound engineering?
Okay, so when everything started then as a child or as a teenager, and I'll listen to music and everything, and at the back of my head, I just knew that this thing that I'm listening to, I want to be the one to create it. I didn't know it was called production.
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing is, I knew I was going to be a producer or an engineer since like I was 9, 10. I was just fascinated to, how the whole thing was created, how they combine the drums and the keyboard and everything. And I'd be like, I don't know what this thing is, but this is what I want to do. And all my life, I've just been, pursuing that.
And so and this was in Lagos?
And this was Lagos.
You grew up here?
Yes, I grew up in Lagos.
I saw Akure in your story.
Yes, that was where I scored.
Oh.
Okay. Everything started professionally when I got to school.
When you got to school?
Yeah.
What year was that?
200.
What year did you go to school? What year did you get in?
That was 2012.
Okay, and your first year you were a good boy.
Yes, I was a good boy. And I remember then back in 100 level when people would ask me, what do you do? What do you do? I'll say, I'm a producer. But then I've never produced a song before.
But have you touched the console even?
Okay, yes. Yes.
Where was that?
That was in Lagos before I entered school.
Where did you touch this console?
So when I used to play drums, I used to play in the studio too. Like I played drums professionally.
Yeah.
I used to record, in the studio, but I don't move close to it. I just stay with my drums. By the back of my mind, I'm, watching what they're doing and so on. And I'll be like, one day I'll be on that's it.
But why didn't you just walk up to the producer to say, hey, I want this?
I mean, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, but every time I go to the studio, I have a job to do, which is to play the drums or sequence the job or whatever, or just do whatever they ask me to do.
Yeah.
So whenever I go there, I'm just 100% on, okay, this is what I want to do. And then after the whole thing, I'll probably just ask 1 or 2 questions.
Yeah.
But I'm like, now when the right time comes, I'll do this.
That's a level of discipline.
Yeah.
Left alone, I would have waited for everybody to leave. Then I would have snuck back in.
Yeah.
I would have even cloned the key. To sneak back in. If I'm very passionate about something, I don't mind to what lengths I go. If I'm passionate about cement, for example, I might drink cement.
That's the highest.
But that's how crazy it is. So in school, first year you focused on studies? Or first year you focused on studies? Or you still had the dream still burned in your heart?
Yes. I was playing drums. All my life I was drums and everything.
Then second year was when you touched the console?
Yes. But before then, I still used to do the church thing. And then
still in school, you're still going to church?
Yeah, I was still in church, playing drums. And then, but by this time I could play the keyboard, I could play a bit of the guitar and everything. So let me take you back to the old drums thing again. So whenever I'm playing the drums, I am never satisfied. I'm the kind of person that when I'm done with something, I'm hungry for the next thing. I want to learn more things. I get bored easily. So after some time, after playing drums for a long time, I was like, okay, let me lay my hands on the keyboard. Then let me lay my hands on the guitar. Let me lay my hands on bass.
And what were the similarities? I know rhythm flows through everything, rhythm, notes, and all of that. But what was the similarity? What's the access, the touch point, or the intersection between drumming and the keyboard?
Actually, they're way two different things entirely.
Yeah.
What I would say is similar is the keyboard, the guitar, and the bass, but drums is very different. It's more of a percussion, more of rhythm and everything.
Yeah.
But the keyboard is more of the keys, the notes, combining the notes together to create a chord and everything. So they are way two different things. But the fact that I have a good ear for music, it helped me, learn faster. You get it?
Okay. Some people say, so a lot of people who handle instruments, they say your skill, if you know rhythm and you know notes, that everything is transferable. Whether it's keyboard, whether it's the guitar, whether it's flute, that's as long as you understand how to create music, you can transfer those skills along each instrument. Do you think that holds any weight at all?
Yes, it's true. It's pretty much the same thing. The rhythm facility that we have on keyboard is what we have on the guitar and on the bass. But it's just different approach. You get different fingering, different, basically different instrument. Just the way you play it is different, but it's pretty much the same thing. Music is the same thing, on all instruments.
Okay. Yeah. And so second year you got to the console. Did you go out of school to access this console? Was it a studio? Who owned it?
Okay, so because of the love I have for production and everything and how I used to talk about it to all my friends, and I'd never done it before. I'd never really made a beat like that. But I talk about it all the time. So my roommate came in one day with his laptop. I didn't have a laptop then. And he came and said, "Oh, Kenny, my name is Kenny."
Yeah.
And he said, "Kenny, I found this software that you can use to make beats. See that thing you used to say? Yeah, come and try with this laptop. Sorry, with this
software.
With this software." And it was Fruity Loop then.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, interesting. And so he would go out during the day to, he would go to school to work with the laptop. And then I would stay up all night to, play around the software to, see how they make beats and everything. And that was how everything started.
And when did you think you became, your first set of beats, were they shitty?
No, I still have, I think I remember recording on that beat. Yeah. So after I made that beat for a while, I went back to Lagos to take the speakers in my house. I took my dad's speaker. I remember, putting it in a what's this thing called? In a big bag, and I put it on my head. I went
on your head.
Yes, I took it to school, and then I arranged it in my room. And I said, "Yeah, damn it, this is my first studio."
Did your dad know you were taking his speakers?
Yes, we had two in the house then.
Oh,
so I took one. I took it to my school, and then I called my friends that can sing, and I said, "Okay, have a studio, guys. Let's record." Yeah, and I remember the first time I tried recording was with earpiece, and I had a friend then that could rap.
Yeah.
So I would plug the earpiece into my laptop, and then I'll tell him to record on the beats. And that was how we started. And then after some time, I called another friend. I made another beat, called another friend, and I said, "Okay, let's go to the studio." And then I remember we booked the studio then, and then we recorded.
How much was that studio?
I can't remember.
But did you feel it? Then did your pocket feel it?
Oh yes. I didn't have money then.
You didn't have it? Okay, you were in school.
Of course.
And everything in school, when you're in school, everything competes with food.
Mm-hmm. And then after some time, I I wasn't really serious with it. I was just doing it for fun. You get, I was just, as a hobby basically.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think, same 200 level. And I liked a girl. Yeah. And
there's always a girl in this story.
thank God for women. Yeah. So I liked the girl then. And I think I was in 300 level already and she was in 500 level. And I noticed that she was way ahead of me in levels and everything. So I wanted to prove to her that I'm serious with my life. I have a job. I mean, I'm in school. You're about to leave school, but I have plans for my life and everything. You get, so I woke up that morning and I said, okay, what can I do to show that I'm, really, really serious with life and I have work and everything? So I told myself, okay, I'm going to take this production thinking very serious and I'm going to start a record label. Yes.
All because you like the woman.
I mean, she just gingered the whole thing.
Yeah, I know.
She made me kickstart the whole thing. I had the idea. I had the dreams. I wanted to do it. But I was just, chilling and just waiting for the right time. I was just doing the beat that I could do and everything. So when she came, she just kickstarted the whole thing. And I walked up to the sound engineer in my church then. He had a studio. And I asked him if I could, intern under him and everything. You get, as his engineer. And this was where the whole sound engineering thing started for me.
Yeah. Okay. So it's one of the things that's always funny, not funny, but one of the things I learned over time, dealing with the world, is you can always see when you think about the point where a person starts aiming upwards, aiming the direction of their life, the direction of everything. It's because they're trying to prove themselves. Sometimes they want to prove themselves to the world around them. Sometimes it's their parents. But there's always a figure where someone that they want to prove something to, hey, sometimes even to themselves, that, hey, I am worth more than I am, or I am worth something. For you, it was a lady. Well, she made you take the next step.
Yes.
But that's you aiming upward.
Yes. But for me, I'd say that I'm a very spiritual person.
Okay.
And I happen to give my life to Christ at a very, very early stage of my life. And and I used to hear from God.
Okay.
So, and I see. So I had seen most of this whole thing happening. I'd seen myself in the studio. I didn't know it was called studio. I didn't know it was called production, but I just have an idea. So I knew this was what I was going to do. You get?
Yeah.
But obviously, like you said, she came and then...
Catalyst.
Okay, Alpha, you're sleeping. Wake up, wake up, wake up. You get?
Was she impressed?
I mean, yeah. She was, actually.
She was?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you... So... on a basic level, you achieved that, what you did worked for her?
So, no, we remain friends.
No way.
Yeah, we remain friends, but my career started.
Unwillingly. You didn't want to be friends?
To be honest, then I was very novice to the whole, babe thinking. I've always been a very focused guy.
Yeah.
I never really had anything to do with women like that, blah, blah, blah. But that was my first time, okay. Yeah, so I didn't really know how to, progress the whole thing, but I just knew that, okay, I started something and I was very passionate about it and I kept pushing it and she saw that I was doing something and then she was, supporting the little way she could, but, and from there, I started making records. And
okay, cool. I just find this is me being silly, but I just find you hear from God, and on one hand, there's a lady on the other hand.
Yeah.
Inspiring, catalyzing your upward aim to achieve what God has shown you. Do you ever think of it like that? Like the duality of it. God gives you a picture, and the lady forms the basis becomes the agent of catalysis to help you move forward and faster into what God has shown you.
So this is the first time I'm, hearing this or thinking about this way.
Yeah.
And what I would say is that at every point in our lives and in our journey, God send people into our lives.
Yeah.
You get, and then they play whatever role God has sent them to do.
Sure.
So I believe that was a role in my life. There was a reason why I met her, and it happened. That is why whenever I talk about my story, I like to mention that part. I still tell her once in a while that, see, this whole thing started because I wanted to impress you. You get, it might not really be the main thing, but I believe that God just put that part there to say, oh, okay, go wake this boy up. And, that was our role. Yeah.
And all through school, you remained a sound engineer and a producer all through school?
Yes.
You were recording local artists?
Yes, in Akure then.
In Akure, did you have local hits?
Yes. So I started a record label.
Yeah.
Yeah, I signed a friend in school.
With what money?
It was tough. Then I remember saving for 6 months, and then I'll come to Lagos to mix a song. And then we did the first one, it was good. Went back again, started the next project, saved for another 6 months. No. It was the next time that I came back to Lagos that I told myself that, no, I'm not going to do this again. Yeah. And I told the engineer then that, see, this is very expensive for me. I want to learn how to do this thing. I don't want to come back here. Yeah, that was a Focus Ramon. Again, and I was like, okay, see, this is what I'm doing. And then I, watched him do everything he was doing. And then I went back to school and I started practicing so that we don't have to save for another 6 months to go back to Lagos to, mix. And that was how I, knew how to, I started mixing.
And when did you now make that move? When did you now go professional? When do you think you could say, okay, I went professional with this?
Okay, that would be after my NYSC. So after school, I moved to Port Harcourt, where I did only sound engineering. Yeah. Not even the studio sound engineering, live sound and everything. So I was outside the studio for a year and a half. Yeah, I was just doing live sound and everything. Okay. So after the NYSC, I relocated back to Lagos to start afresh. So I had built a small name for myself in Port Harcourt then, and I remember my boss asking me to stay back. But I was like, oh, no. So that hearing from God again, had a role to play in this. And then I just, had it in my spirit that, I need to be back to Lagos. But there was nothing waiting for me in Lagos. So I had to, start afresh. And then, so because I haven't been in the studio for a year and a half, I had lost touch of production.
Yeah.
Bro, I picked up laptop to make beats. It wasn't making sense.
Yeah.
I felt like I'd lost it. But thank God I was doing engineering before I moved. So I told myself that I am done with production. I give up.
On production.
On production. Yeah, and I asked myself then, what's the next thing I can do? I can record. I can mix. And I remember when I was younger, I told myself that if production doesn't work out for me, I don't mind becoming a cleaner in the studio. I just have to be in the studio. I cannot do any other work. I've never done any other job in my entire life, and I've never imagined myself doing any other job. So if it's for me to be a cleaner in the studio, as long as I'm in that studio and everybody's making music and I'm watching them, I do it. So then it was what's the next thing I can do that would put me in the studio? Okay, yes, I can record. I can engineer properly and I can mix. So I put my CV together and I started sending out my CVs out to different production companies and different studios, looking for a recording engineer and everything. And it was after at this point I'd moved away from my house because my dad wanted me to look for a proper job and everything. Obviously this is after NYSC. You're supposed to go look for a job. You get so, but now I didn't want to do that. So I moved out from the house. I was staying with a friend that has a studio.
Were they pumped to see you leave home? Did they try to make you stay?
I mean, obviously, my mom would always talk and everything, but I told her a long time ago that music is what I want to do. So she didn't have a problem with it. It was only my dad that had, issues with it. And after sending out my CVs and going for several interviews, I got rejected. I was always wondering why I sabi this thing. Why? And I didn't know God was prepping something bigger for me. Yeah, so because most of my friends knew that I was looking for a job, they would send me, links to interviews and everything.
Yeah.
And then one beautiful afternoon, a friend of mine sent me a screenshot that says, a studio in Lagos is looking for an engineer. Send in your CV. So she sent me a number. I sent in my CV and my portfolio to them. And then the lady sent me an email to send my CV to that email. And I saw MavenRecords.com. Yeah, I mean, that was the email that the lady sent to me. And I was like, wait, could this be the main Maven Records? And okay, well, with faith, I put in everything together. I sent it to them. I wasn't expecting to get a response because bigger labels or bigger studios had rejected me. Obviously, this one too would reject me. And fast forward to a few weeks, I got an email that I've been shortlisted for an interview. I was like, this has to be scam. So that was the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah.
These guys, is this real? You guys, so I mean, I told my mom about it. She gave me tea. I went for the interview. I saw Maven and I'm like, wait, this is not scam. This is making sense. Like, this is actually, this is actually Maven. Like, the building is looking like Maven. These people cannot be scamming me.
But did you have a sense of, so you had a sense of occasion?
Come again?
You had a sense of occasion, like this was special.
Yeah, like the building and everything, like the logo on the wall, the frames and everything. It looked real. And I mean, I met real people. They were talking to me like they were from Maven. I was like, okay, something is looking real. So I did the first interview with them and they said they would get back to me. Like I used to get from every other, company, and they never got back. But lo and behold, these guys got back like after like 1 week to say that I've qualified for the next phase of interview with the CEO of Maven Records, Don Jazzy. Because at this point I was like, wait. Something is happening. You get it? And at this point I didn't tell anybody because I was already scared like, wait, Don Jazzy, I'm going to see Don Jazzy. And Don Jazzy has been my mentor all my life. When I started then, he was like the first producer that I knew. Yeah, that I used to listen to, the band then and all of those Dongle and all of those songs were what I used to listen to. And I was like, shit, I'm going to meet Don Jazzy. Don Jazzy is going to interview me. Hey, God, yeah. And then I went for the interview. I remember running because I was late. And then Jazzy came in. And then I was in front of him. He was asking me questions and everything, my life, my work and everything.
How did you maintain composure?
No, I was shaking. Bro, I was shaking like I was just managing, but it was very cool. Yeah. So it made it very easy. He was laughing and, it was more like he was gisting with me. So I just, got relaxed and everything. And then after the whole thing, I think the last question he asked me was, what DAW do I use? And I said, Logic. I said, I beg, that's it. Yeah. And that was how I got the job as a recording engineer. Bro, after I got that job, I told myself that, see, in this country, in Africa and in the world, I'm going to be the best recording engineer. Like, don't forget that I'd given up on production. Like, production wasn't there at all. Like, this whole Louddaaa thinking, nah, I didn't want to be famous anymore. In fact, I'd never wanted to be famous. Like, I just knew that I was going to make music, but I didn't really know it was going to be all of this and so on. But at this point, that whole thing had died. So now my next dream is to be the best recording engineer and the best sound engineer from Nigeria and then boom to the world. You get, that was my dream. That was my goal. And I was doing this diligently. Like I loved my job. Like, finally I am in the studio and I am recording. Oh, nice. Just leave me. You get it?
Beautiful. So I did read about you.
Yeah.
And I discovered that you became a sound engineer when Don Jazzy walked in on you producing at night your own beats. You had no hope, you had no idea that this was going to be something that would be used by the company. Yeah. You just started picking yourself. But if you had lost your hope for being a producer, then why did you start producing again? I
loved producing. I loved making music. You get, but that dream of just being a superstar producer or being a main producer had died. But I still love to do it. Do you get? So at this point, I had a different reason for doing it. I was just doing it for myself. Yeah. So because after engineering different artists, I'll listen to how they put their beats together and everything. And then after the session, I'll just, try my hand around some things, or some melodies would just come to my head and I'll just pen them down like I used to do before in the past. You get? And Jazzy walked in that night and he heard one that I was doing. And I was like, oh, Kenny, when was this beat? And I was like, I don't know. I'm just making it. And then by this time, Ayra had joined us. Yeah. And I've been recording her. I've been engineering her.
So you've been recording and engineering Ayra Star then?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And then Jazzy was like, it sounds like something Ayra should jump on. And I was like, gladly. I mean, when she comes, I'll tell her and she will record. And then Ayra came that week. She heard the beat. She recorded. It came out nice. That was my first song with Ayra.
Was it released?
No.
Okay.
They liked the song. I think they were going to drop it. I don't know. But we made some adjustment and then the A&R just didn't agree with the adjustment that we did. Yeah. Yeah. So that was how everything started. And then she knew I made that beat. And now she knows that I can make beats. Yeah. So, and because I was the closest person to her in the studio, and whenever she, have any idea, she would, send me a VN or tell me the idea, or, and that's how everything started. I remember the first beat I made for her after that one was Away.
Yeah.
Then that
was a beautiful song.
Yeah. Then that became the number one song. Yeah. I think it was at the middle of the night. She sent me a VN. Just humming the melody, away, 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 away. And she's like, can I make a beat to that? And I was like, okay. Yeah, and then I made it. But the sweet thing about this time is I wasn't making it to just impress anybody. I was just making it for myself. And every time I make a beat and I record on it and we go play it for Jazzy, at the back of my mind, I'm like, they won't use it. Yeah. They won't like it. Well, let's just go. You get?
Yeah. And with Ayra Star, big ass superstar, personal friend, beautiful, amazing artist. What was her special, unique quality that you loved as a professional?
The sweet thing about Ayra is that from at day one at Maven, then she knew what she wanted. Yeah. She had a visions, a mission, a branding and everything. She had everything clear, like it was clear in her head. And she could communicate them properly. I remember then she would tell me, this is what I want. This is how I want my sound. This is how I want to sound. When I get unveiled, this is how I want to dress. This is how, like she had everything figured out in her head. Yeah.
And so was it easier to work with an artist who could define their direction?
Bro, very easy. Because this way now you're not able to craft their sound to suit that thing that they just told you. Yeah.
And so thinking about sound generally, especially with the stage that we're in. Yeah. Okay. Before we go into sound, you're a technical man. Okay. You're a technical man. Which of your records do you think you'd want to... So we have this Space Buds, Kotze Oraimo. Okay. I think it's beautiful. I love it. I like it. And so, yeah, it's slick. You can hold on to it. It's slick. Oof. Yeah, it's like...
I like the sliding.
I'll hide it from any kid around me because I know kids love this sort of thing. Oh, okay. But it's like, no, you could put in your... Let's choose a song from your discography that you'd want to hear, and then let's listen to it. I want to get your feedback.
Okay.
As a sound man.
Yeah, let's do Orun.
Orun. Okay, let's play Orun. I'll play from here myself. So we'll have the same experience. Yeah.
Every day is just the same.
I'm impressed. Wow.
Yeah. What do you think?
Firstly, I like the low end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
the low end. What is it? Low end. I don't know. I don't
The
know.
bass.
Oh, the bass.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys call it? So there's a lot of bass in there.
Yeah, but it's very smooth. It's not too boomy. Very, very smooth. And then I also like the high end too. It sounds really smooth. Yeah. Sounds really smooth. I like it.
Beautiful. So
Yeah.
you would.
I'm really impressed, to be honest.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you. Thank
like
you. I'm impressed too. I like it. And it's really slick.
Yes.
It feels like a collectible.
Yeah. And doesn't feel heavy in the air. Feels very light.
Yeah. So I've been looking for new, now we work out at the gym together. So I've been looking for new headphones to use for my running. Like tomorrow morning, I have to link up with Kemen and Co.
Okay.
And run, I think 15K.
Really?
Yeah, we do that every Sunday morning.
Wow.
Yes. We do have a small running group at the gym. So after we lift iron all through the weekend, we're running long distance and we enjoy music. So we just plug our ears. Sometimes we talk, but I think I'd use that for my next run.
Nice.
So thank you. So you start working as a producer again, and you started getting your accolades. Did this version of yourself feel vindicated by the younger one? By the younger one who always wanted to produce, especially in school? Seeing that you abandoned it before, and now look at it, it's your path to elevation. Do you ever think about that other younger version of yourself that said, I don't want to produce again?
To be honest, no. Because then if you remember, I also mentioned that it doesn't matter if it was production or not.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be in the studio. And even until now, till date, I just want to be a part of the production process. I don't necessarily have to be the producer. You get? I don't mind being the recording engineer. I don't mind being the mixing engineer. I just want to be a part of it. So for me, it wasn't necessarily for me to produce. I just want to be in the studio. I just want to be the reason why. I want to be a part of the reason why this whole thing, is happening.
Okay. So walk me through a process now. So let's say an artist shows up now and then says, or rather, an artist says, or two processes, to be honest, but I just want to understand how your mind works. So an artist shows up now, artist like Ayra that shows up now and gives you maybe a melody or just hums it or something and say, hey, I want tan 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 on it, and then gives you. And another artist shows up and says, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, without that direction. How would you know what to put together for that artist? How do you arrive at that conclusion? Or how do you take the lead from there?
So for me,
Yeah.
I just don't dive into the music. The first thing I do most time is I try to get into the mind of the artist.
Okay.
I just make you talk. I try to know your vision for the song.
Yeah.
And then your vision for yourself in general, what you think about yourself, your branding and everything. So these are the things I put together to then create a sound for you. So from this conversation, I can already tell where your headspace was while you were writing the song. Probably somebody broke your heart. That means the song has to be a sad song. Or probably you were happy and everything. The song has to be a happy song. You get? And for me, it is more about the feeling and the story for me. You get? Not about the technicality of the whole production and everything. I want to interpret that thing that you are feeling with my sound, with the music. So when people listen to it, they can feel what you're feeling, when we made the song.
So a song like Stability now, big hit, monster hit, well done, really impressed. What were you trying to achieve there? How did Stability come to be for you?
So the idea started with London and Ayra.
Yeah.
And then I met Ayra in Ghana, and she shared the idea with me. She played it for me and everything. And before then, when myself and Ayra started, we would make reference to Awilo and we talked about, back then, in school, in parties, and then they would play Awilo and children would dance and everything, and so on. You get, so I when Ayra made the song, I believe they wanted to go back to that childhood thinking.
Yeah.
You get, they wanted to, bring back that nostalgic thinking for, everybody and so on. And then she shared the idea with me, and then it wasn't completed then. And then, she asked me to, put my element into it to just,
Beautiful. Beautiful. And when the song became, did you know it was going to be that heavy?
Yes.
In terms of like public reception?
Yes. I mean, because it's a song that, or it's a tune or a melody that we were all used to. You get, it just brought back that childhood thinking for, most of us.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
You should be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I am.
Thank you. And so a sad song. So you've done a lot, but I'm trying to get it. Okay, on her most recent project.
Yeah.
You made. You have credits on Last Heartbreak Song. That's a Giveon record. That's a song that, even though it's solemn, I'll be better on my own. But even though it's a love song, it's a heartbreak song. It's a song about yearning.
Yeah.
And a song about yearning and trying to find strength even within yearning. It's like having love. It's also like grieving. Yeah. So much love, but nowhere to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, nowhere to give it to. So a record like that, how would you know how to find the tune to properly capture the chaos of grief and love and losing and yearning and craving for another person? And know that, and, craft it in a way where people would enjoy it for themselves. How are you able to cook up a sound for that?
Okay, so there is the technical side of things.
Okay.
You get, like I said earlier, for me, when I am choosing probably the tone to use, after playing the chords, there's a way I want to feel. I can't explain it to you. When you say, "Oh, I feel this way," your feeling is valid.
Yeah.
Whether you can explain it or not, you feel something. You get, so that is music for me. I have to feel something, and because in my life I've gone through several experiences in my life, so I know what it feels like to feel sad, to feel this way, and so on. You get, I just attach for every single song I have produced. I usually just attach an experience to it. Yeah.
So if I'm going to extrapolate from this, so you're saying it's important that creatives go through a rich human experience so they could be able to develop cognitive and creative empathy.
Yes, it is important. Yeah.
So in other words, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just working on the lead here. So in other words, you can, it's easier to create when you can connect on a personal level.
Yes. I mean, that is why when people listen to the song, if somebody just broke your heart and you listen to Last Heartbreak Song, you can relate to it because you just finished experiencing that particular feeling. You get, so as the producer, for me, the way it works for me is when I am creating, I just envision somebody going through that thing, or I put myself in that feeling based on all the experiences I've had in the past. And I step away as the producer and I listen to the song. Does this thing make me feel that way? If somebody just broke my heart now, do I feel like, shit, I want to shoot that person right now? Do I feel like I want to cry right now?
Yeah.
You get, so if it doesn't make me feel that way, I am not done. I've done songs that I did a song recently and I had 4 versions of the song.
Yeah.
And when they reached out to me to say, "Oh, how far our song?" I said, "See, there's a feeling that I'm going for that I haven't achieved yet. And it is until I feel this way about the song that I can say that I am done." I mean, by the time I did that and I sent it to them, they were like, "Oh, okay, now it sounds good."
Beautiful. And so beyond, you've done a lot of work that doesn't have Ayra on it.
Yeah.
You have work with Louddaaa, Rexy. It's a long catalog. I'm just flipping through it now on Spotify. This is good.
Thank
I'm
you.
flipping it now on Spotify, and I'm seeing Motivate Yourself. That's another.
Yes.
That's another song that pulls at your heartstrings.
Yes.
That's another one. And then you have there's Shayo with Praised, Fallacy, Rexy.
Yeah.
On Simi's new project, you did a number there.
Yes.
Yes, you did a number. Miracle Worker especially.
Thank you.
I love Miracle Worker.
Thank you.
And on a broader scale, two years ago, Maven Records did an announcement where they progressed a lot of the technical creatives, so producers, sound engineers, and signed them officially. You were at Maven Records then. Was it a personal decision not to be a part of that announcement?
Yeah.
Why?
I just started officially then.
Okay.
So I wanted to be a bit rooted properly before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you feel rooted. Of course you feel rooted.
I mean, I'm still on the,
on the journey.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a journey that has had many highlights and lots of magical moments. So well done. And with you, now a lot of your records are now, especially the culture, they're now focused internationally. Mm-hmm. So we have Afrobeats of the world. It's happening now. Your sound is a very integral part of that movement. Mm. Does that in any way influence how you produce now, knowing that it's no more for this market alone, and we're looking at very distant lands? Does that influence your work, your production?
Yeah, to be honest, I put that in mind whenever I am making music, because I tell myself that the song is not just for me. I want to do a song that everybody can relate with.
Yeah.
And at the same time, not losing that Afrobeat touch in it. Because the main thing we're pushing is the Afrobeat. I'm not trying to make, like a jazz or anything. You can still put in all the necessary Afrobeat elements, and then I borrow some of the thing that they can relate to it into the music. So when they listen to it, they can feel our bounce, they can feel our drums and everything, and then they can hear something that sounds like our own. You get? So it's basically just me infusing our sound and just a bit of what they can relate to it. You get?
Nice. When we talk about, I'm trying to work something here. We're talking about Afrobeats, and we say it's conventionally agreed now, unanimously agreed, that Afrobeats is not a specific genre, it's a movement. It's filled with a lot of sounds fusing together and all. When that narrative gets broken down and hits the studio, what does it become? What are the things that belong to us, Africa, especially via your work? What are the things that belong to us, and what are the things that belong to them? How do you know which one belongs to us and which one belongs to them, and the right way to mix them?
Okay. I don't want to go into the whole Afrobeat story and all of those things again. But for me personally, the main thing in Afrobeat for me particularly is the drums.
Okay.
And the choice of percussion. Okay, if we go back to the beginning of, the fellas and co, you hear the shakers, exactly, all of those things. So now sometimes we've replaced the shakers with maybe ayat or tambourine. So you can then play around with it, do whatever you want to do with it, but there is a foundation. You get, and for us, it is more of the drums, the groove, the percussion. You get, and then so just imagine you doing let's borrow like a group that fellas used before, and then you then play like let's say like a pop chord on it, that's a fusion already. You get?
Yeah.
So when I'm listening to it, the drums sounds relatable. You get? Sounds like our kind of bounce. Sounds like something we can move our head to.
Yeah.
You get? And then the chord that is on top of it sounds like something that they had done before. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it
does. So
does.
for me, there's no music that you want to create that has not been done before.
Everything exists.
Yes, we're just, should I say creating, we're just improving on what has been done before, basically.
Just building on the work of others.
Exactly. You get? So if I pick something that has been done here, you get? And then I pick what has been done there and I put them together, the fusion, my guys here can relate to the sound, or personally, I can relate to the bounce of the drums and everything. And over there, they can relate to the chords. They sound very friendly to me. They sound very familiar to me. They sound like something that was used in a trap song. That is their sound. You get? So infusing that sound with Afrobeat. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Yes,
so
it
it's
does.
like if you listen to a lot of trap, you hear a lot of ayat in trap.
Yes.
You get? So bringing that ayat into Afrobeat, replacing our shakers with that ayat. You get?
Yes, I do.
It's like,
so it creates an entirely. It's a blend of cultures.
yes.
Oh. So when we mention fusion, when on the front end we say fusion, Afro fusion, when it enters the studio,
This is it.
this is it.
Yes. So if you listen to a lot of pop song, like UK pop song, you hear this very fat snare.
Yeah.
Okay, it's mainly used in their song. So imagine bringing that pop snare into our record. Now blend that same pop song, that pop snare, with our local shaker.
Okay, give me an example of a record that you would say captures this specifically for you that you have done.
To be honest, a lot of my production. Yeah.
Okay.
So where I bring it in mostly is the choice of my tone.
Yeah.
The choice of my keys and everything. And if you listen to my my choice of kit,
Yeah.
the drums, I used more of, let me say, trap kit to create my own Afrobeat or my own bounce.
Oh.
You get? I mean, yeah, I try to play around that too, and I play a lot with Vox FX.
Yeah.
get-
What's Fox?
It's like sampling your sound, sampling your voice. Had a lot of reverb to it to just create like some kind of emotions and everything.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't really our thing. Yeah, I just borrowed it and then I infused it in our sound, and then you'll be like, oh shit, this sounds different. You get?
And so that's amazing. I've never, one of the reasons why I like this sort of conversations is I'm learning as I go along. I'm learning a lot of things that I wouldn't like if I catch you at the gym now. I'm not while you're going through your sets and your reps, I'm not going to come in and be like, hey, see this thing, yeah. How you
take
that?
that?
How you think that?
I'll never look at you. Yeah.
So it's beautiful. I'm learning. So when I go out now tomorrow and I'm like, yeah, this is fusion, I'm going to say, you see this hi-hat? It's from trap. And now this
Yeah.
one has Vox FX. Beautiful, beautiful. I think producers are technicians. I think producers are the core of producers are the core of what it is to make music. Because a cappella is great, but it doesn't slap as much as music slaps when the instrumentation comes in, when the production comes in. And so I think all of these Afrobeats to the world, all of these international flights that we have now, I think it's happening because our producers just conduct experiments and are very steeped in research and development.
Yeah.
And so when we say new sound is new production.
That's, to be honest, yes.
And so when I think of Afrobeats and this Afrobeats to the world,
Yeah.
I see it as a triumph of production. I know on the front end, the artists do a lot of like the front facing work.
Yeah.
But when I listen to the music, I think it is the producers that drive it. And so in this space, now, do you think that education has become more widespread, knowing that producers are the heart of the sound? Do you think it's become more widespread?
Yeah, I mean, of recent, producers are beginning to get their accolades. Recognition and so on.
And how does that make you feel?
Of course, very, very good. Very good. I mean, look at me here. Yeah, you get, sure. Having to, talk about my experience and everything, over the past, it's usually the artist, and so on. Again, now we have things like pages for producers on Spotify, on Happy Music, and, all of those things. And so.
So the world's catching up.
Yes.
So within the next, let's say, Afrobeats to the world is on. It's already gone. For you, it's been a long journey for you. From 9-year-old, working with sound, and now you're getting international hits. Mm-hmm. At the end of all of this, pushing yourself, creating this, winning for yourself, winning for your people, being an inspiration to everyone around you. What matters the most to you when away from everyone, when you're by yourself? I know there's God and He continues to give you His vision, but what matters the most to you what has mattered the most to you on this journey, and what would matter going forward?
I was thinking about this recently, earlier this year, and there's something one of my mentor told me. Yeah. He said, life is in phases and moments. My moments would come, or my time would come, and it would go. There was a time that there was nobody like Louddaaa.
Yeah.
Okay, and now there is Louddaaa. And I don't know how long everybody's going to hear about Louddaaa for. Or I told myself earlier this year that I don't know how long I'm going to spend in the industry. I don't know when I can wake up and say, okay, I don't want to make music anymore. But by the time I am doing that, I want to look back and say that, first of all, I made music that my kids or my grandkids would listen in the future and say, oh, yeah, our grandpa did that. And not just any kind of music that would bless people.
Yeah.
Music that you listen to at every time that you're feeling something, and you can connect to the sound and to the story and, everything. And then I want to look back and say that, okay, as a person, I helped this artist, this producer, or I helped the industry. Like I added my 1% to the industry, the music, industry as a whole, in Nigeria and all over the world. I want to say that, okay, yeah, I did my own bit.
Yeah.
And then, on to, the next person.
Okay. That sounds amazing. Mm-hmm. Thank you for the work. Thank you for continuing to share. Thank you for following your personal adventure, because it is by you pursuing your path that I'm able to open my Spotify now and enjoy what the products of that your adventure. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sticking to it. Thank you for doing all of this. Okay. And, keep working out. I'll probably see you in the gym tomorrow on Sunday, or Monday rather. Yeah. But thank you for doing this. It's been fun.
Thank you.
Let's wrap it up. Thank you.
Thank you. This was fun.